I chased Stella for 8 years, loved her for 8 years. But a week before the wedding, I accidentally saw her diary. It had her neat handwriting talking about longing for another man and the magic of their first time together, plus her real reasons for marrying me. After reading the last page, I quietly closed the diary, put it back, and went on with her act as if nothing had happened. Then, on the wedding day, when she saw a different groom on stage, she completely lost it. "Leo, cancel the flight tickets to France and Switzerland and the booked suite," I said. My assistant was shocked, a hint of hesitation in his voice. "But Johnny, wasn't this a surprise honeymoon for your wife? What happened? Cancel it." "I'm not getting married," I said, my lips trembling slightly. I tried to keep my tone calm as I hung up the phone. I just kept staring at the old-fashioned diary in my hands. The front page had a note: "I love you, in every ordinary day, forever. Signed, Felix." That sentence dumbfounded me. In 3 days, it'd be my wedding with Stella. Today, I was supposed to pick up my suit and pay the balance. But she disappeared early morning, not answering her phone. Her friends told me someone we both know was surprising her and asked me not to disturb them. When the dress shop called, I had to go myself, but my debit card was with Stella. I went into her room for the first time, and right in the drawer I found this diary. Suddenly, everything from the past came flooding back. We dated for 4 years, living under the same roof, but she insisted on sleeping separately, saying she was traditional. We don't even have a single photo holding hands. I was always racking my brain to surprise her with little things in life, and she'd just say she likes calmness, unable to adapt to these. Now I understand. It's not surprises she's uncomfortable with, it's ones from me. Thinking about all those years trying to get her to smile with my pitiful attempts hit me hard. I remembered her friends' shocked faces when we said we were getting married. "Are you serious? Not waiting anymore? Just surrendering?" I hadn't understood what they meant then and smugly said, "Our relationship can withstand the test of time." But now I know who they meant by waiting, and I no longer have the guts to claim that. I took a deep breath, closed the notebook, and carefully put it back. Then, I returned to my room. My phone suddenly buzzed with a message notification. Opening our chat, my eyes fell on a brief reply under a screen full of green texts. Something came up: "I'll be back late." I always thought her lack of response was just part of her personality, not being good with words. I never imagined she was holding a place for someone else in her heart. In hindsight, I realized the fool was me. My friends often invited us out, but she'd decline, citing she was busy. Now, I finally know the real reason. For 8 years, I was prepping for this wedding. Especially these last few days, I was too excited to sleep. I even made a countdown calendar, reminding myself daily. Looking over at the calendar showing 3 days to go, my eyes welled up. I sat up, grabbed the calendar, and threw it in the trash. Suppressing my inner exhaustion, I moved to the office to distract myself with work. Around 12:30 a.m., I heard the success sound of the door lock. The woman I was supposed to marry in 3 days was leaning affectionately on a man. I had seen his face not long ago in a photo slipped inside the diary, just now more rugged in real life. Stella, drunk, was supported by Felix into the room and gently laid on the couch. Only then did he frown at me, full of hostility. "I'm Stella's ex-boyfriend, Felix." "You must be Johnny," he said. Without waiting for my reply, he continued complaining. "What kind of boyfriend are you? Even fiancé? You didn't call her once, and it's so late. Aren't you worried she might be in danger?" If it had been earlier, seeing a guy so close with my girlfriend, especially knowing we're about to marry soon, I would have punched him on the spot. But now I just smiled indifferently. Stella's friends take good care of her. Especially with an ex like you around, why should I worry? I replied. Felix studied me with a smirk. Stella, silent till then, suddenly spoke up. "Johnny, stop being sarcastic. I got home safely, thanks to Felix." In an instant, I clenched my fists, my knuckles whitening and trembling slightly. In 8 years, Stella never showed me a fraction of this warmth. Felix showed up for a day, and she gave it all away. My role as her boyfriend seemed pointless. When Stella refused to hold hands, refused the romantic gestures, and declined all normal couple activities. Our eventual end was already written. Back then, I was unwilling to let go, wanting to gamble with another 4 years. But the loss was only more tragic. Stella finished, and Felix quickly interjected, Now, Stella, don't argue over me. I feel wrong if you did." Forcing a smile, I looked at Felix. "Well, thanks for bringing Stella back this late." There was a brief pause in the air. Stella looked at me discontentedly. "Johnny, what do you mean by that? Don't believe me?" Felix just traveled a long way back to attend our wedding. We've been friends for over 10 years and just wanted to catch up. What's up with your disbelief? All right, Johnny, stop being unreasonable and go make me some hangover soup. Stella, looking tired and rubbing her head, ordered. I know she's giving me an out. In the past, I would have been all too eager to do what she asked just because she said so. But not today. I pretended not to hear, standing completely still. Felix suddenly chimed in with that mocking tone. "Johnny, we're both men. You should be more generous with a woman you love. Besides, you're about to get married. How could you not have any trust in Stella?" I made a point of looking innocent, glancing at the both of them. "What? I trust you guys." But what Felix said affected Stella. She suddenly glared at me, her tone firm. "Then what did you mean earlier? Everything you said showed you don't trust us. Johnny, clear up what you meant. How have I wronged you?" "Felix is my friend. Not respecting him means not respecting me. If you don't clear this up today, maybe we shouldn't bother with this wedding." I felt a wave of bitterness. Yeah, everything I've given in 4 years can't match a soft look Felix gives her. I recalled something from Stella's diary. "Today, Johnny proposed to me. I said yes. My friends find it unbelievable. They think I've let go of Felix. But really, I'm making a last gamble. Lately, I've been dreaming of Felix's clear eyes when he kissed me. I once promised him an unforgettable wedding. If he comes back for me, I'll figure out a way to divorce Johnny afterward. With the money, Felix and I could start our life together." It all made sense. Why she suddenly accepted my proposal. Why all she wanted was a simple wedding. The 8 years I've been dreaming of a wedding, just a ploy to bring Felix back. Fine. If they're so in love, then I'll make their wedding happen. Felix, with a mocking expression, watched and waited for me to fall apart in anger. I forced myself to calm down, keeping my voice steady. "Stella, you misunderstood. I meant nothing disrespectful to your friend. I truly thanked him earlier. If you want to see it differently, that's up to you." My calmness surprised Stella. She thought I'd grovel and apologize like a puppy when she mentioned breaking up. Even Felix looked taken aback, anger flickering in his eyes when his jab didn't land. His irritation gave me a sense of satisfaction. But he didn't stop. Sidling over, he patted my shoulder, grinning. "Stella, Johnny didn't mean it. You know how stubborn you can be sometimes. I used to make allowances for it. Johnny, you should too." Instinctively, I brushed Felix's hand away. He winced dramatically. Stella blinked sober, suddenly worried about him. "Johnny, are you crazy? You dared to hit him? Such a minor thing, and she's all concerned over Felix." My treatment's worlds apart. Remembering the time she had me stand in the blazing sun for hours just to fetch a pastry, which led to me getting a fever, but she couldn't care less. She lied about being busy when she really was out enjoying herself. My thoughts were abruptly cut short by a slap. Of all things, my first intimate touch with Stella came like this. And this slap washed away any lingering attachment. My mind was set. This wedding, 3 days from now, is the only thing left to see. "Johnny, apologize to Felix this instant." I almost burst out laughing. Meanwhile, Felix was behind Stella with a smug smile. I mustered up a terrified act. "My bad. Didn't think you'd be so frail, Felix. Just a light touch and I hurt you. Sorry, but I'm a germaphobe. When your hand got near, I couldn't handle the stench I sensed." Felix's face twisted in disgust. He turned to Stella. "Stella, don't let this affect you and Johnny. He's your soon-to-be husband, stepping into marriage with you. And I..." Felix paused, shaking his head with a rueful smile. "Never had the courage or means to make you happy. I probably won't get that chance." but seeing you happy is enough for me. Felix, actually Stella started, but I cut in. Stella, it's late. We have lots to do tomorrow. Felix needs a good rest after today. I'll walk him downstairs. Stella gave me a conflicted look but said nothing. I walked over with a friendly smile, gently holding Felix's arm, and pulled him towards the door. Once we stepped outside, I immediately let go of his arm and stopped, looking expressionless. Slow down, show yourself out. Felix looked a bit surprised but then smiled at me. Stella can't handle her drinks. When you get back, make her some honey water. Not too much honey because she doesn't like it too sweet. And don't make it too hot. He paused and then quickly continued. Oh, I almost forgot the most important part. Tonight, you'll have to keep an eye on her. Stella shifts a lot in her sleep and always kicks off the covers. Make sure she doesn't catch a cold. She used to keep me up all night with her tossing and turning. He seemed a bit embarrassed and added, Sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. I cut him off with a polite smile. It's fine. No need for all that trouble. I'll get her to move around a bit when we get home, sweat it out, and she'll sleep soundly. But thanks for your concern. Felix's expression froze, and I didn't pay him any more mind. I turned around and headed upstairs. When I got home, Stella was no longer in the living room. I heard the water running in the bathroom, so I just went straight to my own bedroom. Just as I was about to fall asleep, Stella knocked on my door. Johnny, are you awake? I wasn't really interested in whatever she wanted, so I stayed silent and turned over to try and fall back asleep. After what seemed like a while, I finally heard her footsteps move away and then the soft sound of the door closing. The next day, I intentionally slept in, and when I woke up, Stella had already made breakfast for me. I'm usually the one who does that, so her being so attentive was rare. Awake? Come have breakfast. She was acting like nothing happened, her tone as cold as ever. After seeing how reluctant she was to part with Felix the day before, there was no way I could keep blaming it on her personality. I sat across from her and took a bite of a fried dough stick, eating quietly by myself. Seeing I wasn't speaking, she broke the silence. I drank too much last night. You're not still mad about me slapping you, are you? No, don't worry about it. I answered so quickly it seemed to surprise her, and she looked a bit taken aback, her expression complicated. After a brief silence, she said casually, A friend is throwing me a bachelorette party. I'll stay at her place tonight. Okay. She looked a bit surprised. You agreed? I gave her a questioning look. Why wouldn't I be okay with you staying at a friend's? It's not like you're going anywhere else. Stella felt different today, actually asking for my opinion. It wasn't the first time she said she'd be staying over at a friend's. In the past, I'd stay up all night in the living room, waiting for her, questioning where she'd been and why she didn't pick up her phone. First, she'd explain, I was at a friend's, what's the issue? Can't I have girl talk without reporting back to you? Johnny, stop being so petty and paranoid. Eventually, she stopped bothering to explain, letting me drive myself crazy with suspicions and then slowly convince myself otherwise. It wasn't until I found her diary that I discovered she had a small apartment rented on the side. It was the place she and Felix used to stay. It was still filled with his stuff, kept just how he left it. Whenever Stella missed Felix terribly, she would spend the night there, laying on the bed where they shared such intimate memories. After breakfast, Stella said she was going to see her friends and headed out. I called the wedding planner and canceled our rehearsal scheduled for that day. The person on the other end seemed shocked. Johnny, if you don't rehearse, things might go wrong during the ceremony. Doesn't matter, one less thing. While they were still baffled, I hung up. I had planned to invite Felix out myself, but he beat me to it, calling me first. At 2 p.m., at a cafe seat by the window, Felix waved me over. I sat across from him. I ordered you a latte, hope that's okay. I kept a straight face, looking at Felix's overly friendly smile, and called the server. I'll have an iced Americano, thanks. Once the server left, Felix leaned back in his seat, looking at me smugly. Johnny, drop the act. It's just the two of us, aren't you tired of pretending? I kept that same blank expression, still not saying a word. Felix, with a taunting expression, said, I'll be blunt. I want you to cancel the wedding tomorrow. You and Stella, you'll never be happy together. I finally let out a small laugh, and she'd be happy with the guy who tricked her into giving up her spot abroad and then ditched her? I'd secretly hired someone to dig into that. In our senior year, Felix Sweet talked Stella into giving up her opportunity to study abroad, so he could go instead. That same year, her father had an accident at work that left him paralyzed. The betrayal by her first love combined with family pressure nearly broke her. Not knowing the full story back then, I started helping her out of sympathy. I foolishly believed that if I treated her well enough, she'd eventually fall for me. But reality hit hard. So what? Felix didn't care. The minute I came back, she was all over me. He leaned in closer, whispering, "I'm not backing down. Marry her if you want, but don't blame me for a green hat. I'm still the only guy she's been with. But hey, if you want that hat, I'll help you out, free of charge." He was trying to provoke me, and in the past it might have worked. But now I just felt nothing. I chuckled bitterly, raising my hands in mock surrender. "Fine, you win. I give up." Felix clearly didn't expect me to react this way. He was stunned for a while until the waiter brought our coffee and snapped him back to reality. "You agreed to cancel the wedding?" Felix asked suspiciously. I put down my coffee, smiled slightly, and shook my head at him. "The wedding can't be canceled, but I can grant you a wish." "A wish? What do you mean?" I paused for a moment before continuing. "The wedding, I'm giving it to you." As I left the cafe and got back in my car, I took a deep breath and pulled out my phone to call my parents about the situation. There was a long silence on the other end of the line before my father finally sighed. "Take care of yourself and try to come home when you can." After hanging up, I had my assistant book me a flight to the Maldives. I needed to clear my head. By the next afternoon, Stella still hadn't returned home, even though today was supposed to be our day to get the marriage license. Usually, I would have blown up Stella's phone by now. But this time, she called me first. "Johnny, last night was wild, and a friend got sick. I'm staying to take care of her tonight. I'll head straight to the wedding venue tomorrow." I couldn't tell if she was telling the truth, and I wasn't about to waste time figuring it out. I hung up, packed a few clothes, and headed to the airport. During the 3-hour flight, my mind was filled with memories of the past 8 years. 8 years isn't too short, but it was long enough for me to fall into the habit of loving her. It was the first time we were so far apart, and my heart couldn't help but feel a bit uneasy. Once I got off the plane, I checked into a hotel. On the way there, Stella called again, sounding a bit irritated. "Johnny, I'm at the wedding venue and don't see you. Where are you?" I smiled and replied, "I've got a surprise for you. You'll find out soon enough." "Johnny, don't pull anything unnecessary. Just come here. The sooner we start, the sooner we'll be done with it. I'm gonna get my makeup done." She hung up immediately. Somehow, I still felt a pang of bitterness in my heart. I took a deep breath to clear my grim feelings and suddenly felt excited for Stella's reaction when she realized the groom wasn't me. Reaching the beach, I found a comfortable spot facing the ocean. I checked the time and opened the live stream. The wedding was already underway, and the bride had been invited on stage. The MC had a cheerful expression. Before the wedding, the groom told me he has a secret dream surprise for the bride. "So what is it?" "Next, let's invite our groom on stage to reveal it." With that, the lights suddenly went out, plunging the room into darkness. A shadowy figure emerged on stage, slowly walking towards the bride. When the MC excitedly counted down, 2 spotlights lit up Stella and the man standing before her. When people finally saw who the man was, everyone was shocked. Stella, who had been indifferent, was wide-eyed and speechless. The crowd began murmuring, "What's going on? Who's this guy? Isn't the groom supposed to be on stage?" "I don't know. He's wearing the groom's suit. Is he the groom?" Didn't expect to get some drama along with the wedding. This was worth showing up for. The MC, likely encountering this situation for the first time, was at a loss for words. As whispers from the crowd reached the stage, Stella finally came to her senses. "Felix, why are you here? Where's Johnny?" Felix looked at her sincerely and answered seriously, "Stella, I'm here to marry you." I'm today's actual groom." The crowd erupted in confusion, but Felix seemed unfazed. He gazed at Stella, who stood pale and baffled, and continued his heartfelt confession. "Stella, I've dreamed of this moment countless times. Today, that dream finally comes true." The next second, everyone's attention shifted to the giant screen behind them, where photos began to roll. They were carefully selected from Stella's diary by me. Suddenly, long-standing secrets were revealed to the public, and Stella panicked. "Turn it off. Turn it off. Stop showing it." Desperately, she tried to destroy the screen, but a puzzled Felix stopped her. "Stella, what's wrong? Calm down, it's our big day. Everyone's watching. Stop causing a scene." Stella shoved Felix away forcefully. "It's all wrong, this isn't right. Where's Johnny? You conspired with him. Bring Johnny out. Johnny, get out here." In the past, I was always the one desperately trying to win her cold affection. This was the first time Stella was so eager for me. Seeing her fall apart like this, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. I closed the video and sent Stella one last text. "Congrats on the wedding." Then, I blocked her on everything. I stood up and stretched, as the sea breeze, salty and mixed with the fragrance of flowers, blew across my face. It was a pleasant day, and when I got back to the hotel that night and finished freshening up, I decided to check my itinerary for tomorrow. Suddenly, my phone rang with a call from a number I didn't recognize. Hesitant, I answered, and before I could say anything, a woman's furious voice shouted at me. "Johnny, you jerk. How dare you block me? What the hell are you trying to do? What's that text you sent supposed to mean? Talk to me." For the first time, I coldly spoke to Stella. "Stella, can't you see what it means? We're done." "Done?" She seemed incredulous that those words could come from my mouth. After a brief pause, she became hysterical. "But why do you get to decide when we break up? I don't agree. What about the feelings we shared? What about the 4 years of my youth spent on you? You want to dump me? You think you can just ditch me like that? No way." Stella was actually trying to talk about feelings? For years, I loved her for 8. "Stella, forget the past. I hope you find happiness going forward." The line went silent for a moment, then Stella's voice softened quite a bit, with a hint of a sob. "Johnny, if you apologize now, I might still give you another chance. I'll keep my distance from Felix, but you need to apologize to my parents and relatives. They were humiliated at the wedding, but that's okay. As long as you bring some good cigarettes and liquor and show a bit of sincerity, they will." "Stella, I've made things clear enough. Please stop bothering me, or else." "Johnny, are you giving me attitude now?" she snapped, teeth gritting. "Sure, I wrote in the diary, but other than that, what did I ever do that was so wrong? Can't I have a little privacy? Why do you get to call it quits so easily? Aren't you at fault too? If you'd put more effort into us, be a little better, try to impress me, would I even have written in the diary? You're such an unworthy boyfriend." Her words just made me laugh. All these years with her, I wasn't attentive enough. She wanted watermelon in the middle of the night during winter, and I'd get out of bed and search the entire city to get it for her. When her work performance dipped and her boss scolded her, I secretly asked friends to pose as clients to boost her metrics using my money, and even gifted her boss to make her work life better. I put all my effort into her, yet she calls me unworthy. Is she looking for a boyfriend or a servant? I've said enough, so if there's nothing else, let's just leave it here and no more contact. "Johnny, you wouldn't dare." Stella suddenly panicked as I was about to hang up. "Johnny, I know it, you're seeing someone else, right? That's why you're making excuses to dump me. You're playing the victim to ruin my reputation. Well, I won't let you. It's not that easy to break up with me." Then she hung up. I never thought Stella would stick to me like a pesky fly one day. Does she really have feelings? Or was she upset she couldn't stick to her plan of marrying me to split my assets? I shook my head with a bitter smile. Whatever it is, I put her number on my block list again and went back to planning my next trip. I thought Stella would want to leave some dignity for herself, but she went all out. She kept calling and texting me with new numbers. She started off vicious like before, but then her messages became pleading. Johnny, when I agreed to be your girlfriend, you promised to take care of me for life. Did you forget? Johnny, what am I to you? Do you realize how my life's been? I lost my job. My parents think I'm disgraceful, and everyone points fingers at me. Is this what you wanted? Johnny, I was wrong. I've paid for my mistakes. What more do you want from me? Johnny, would you forgive me if I died? Fine, I'll grant you that. I thought it was just her playing the drama queen, so I didn't pay any mind. Until my dad called, saying Stella had shown up at their place threatening to hurt herself unless I saw her, begging me to get back. I had to cut my trip short and rush home. When I returned, Stella was sobbing on the couch. Seeing me, she started crying even louder. Johnny, I knew you wouldn't abandon me, she said, opening her arms and rushing towards me for a hug. I quickly stepped back in alarm, letting her fall forward. Stella, we're broken up. Don't do this. She looked stunned, swaying on her feet, nearly losing her balance. What? Johnny, do I mean nothing to you? Even strangers wouldn't be so heartless. Johnny, will you start hating on me too? I stared at her without emotion. We've already talked this to death. What's the point of going over it again, I thought. Impossible. Johnny, I know you were just mad before. It was a lie, wasn't it? Stella persisted. You're not upset about the diary anymore, right? You're not still jealous of Felix, right? Johnny, I know I was wrong. If you don't like it, I promise I won't talk to Felix anymore. I'll do whatever you say, okay? I swear nothing happened between Felix and me. I'm still clean, believe me. I snorted a laugh. Clean? Didn't your diary already spell it all out? Is that what you call clean? You're married now, have some respect. Her face turned pale. Johnny? Enough. I cut her off sharply. I wanted to leave you some dignity, but if you don't leave, I'll have to get the police involved. Whatever you do from now on, it has nothing to do with me. Do not bother me or my family again. Stella stepped forward and grabbed my hand in a tight grip. No way. Johnny, no way. I don't believe you don't love me anymore. I shook off her hand and coldly said to Stella, who was sprawled on the floor, not loving you means just that. I don't owe you any explanation. Just stay out of my life from now on. Finally seeing Stella out the door was a relief. I thought once we reached this point, who would be shameless enough to hang on? But of course, Stella was that shameless person. She even threatened that if her last relationship ended, this time she'd go all out to pursue me. She'd show up at my workplace every day with meals, and sometimes even surprise me with little gifts. I admit her surprises were thoughtful, but they were getting on my nerves. Suddenly, it hit me, maybe this is how Stella felt when I acted like this. My work life was seriously impacted, so I had no choice but to ask my boss to transfer me to a branch in another city. The boss was pretty understanding and agreed right away. By that afternoon, I was racing to the airport. I changed my phone number, and only my family and colleagues knew it. Finally, my world was quiet. But just when I thought I could have some peace, I noticed colleagues looking at me differently. They even began to avoid me. Walking down the street suddenly got me more second glances and weird looks from strangers. I was confused until my boss called. Johnny, stop all your work for now. I'm giving you a month off to sort out your personal issues. At first, I was baffled, but after some questions, I got the full story. I was shocked to discover that Felix and Stella had teamed up to launch an online smear campaign against me. They accused me of cheating and planning schemes to get away from Stella, which they described convincingly. They even somehow found a silent video of me and Felix chatting at a cafe. They fabricated stories about me abusing and manipulating Stella, spinning a narrative so bad that even I felt like a monster. Waving the banner of justice for women and playing the victim, they quickly gained support online. People started harassing me non-stop, with calls and texts filled with words I'd never heard. I couldn't take it anymore. Really, cyberbullying? Anyone can do that. I immediately posted a response online, releasing Stella's diary entries and photos of her and Felix together before marriage, then called the cops. But that wasn't enough. I paid for a little extra online attention to make sure the story spread. Those intimate photos of them? Totally photoshopped, but the diary was solid proof. The photos were just to make them look worse. As expected, within a night, The wrath of the internet turned on them. By afternoon, Stella called me, begging for mercy. Johnny, I'm sorry. Everything I said online was in a moment of rage because I couldn't reach you. Can't we let it go for what we once had? I just laughed. Stella, I'm not pursuing this. You're the one who won't let go. You're into Felix, right? Even when he tricked you out of studying abroad, you were fine with it. So why can't you leave me be? What? What did you just say? Stella sounded shocked. That can't be true. Felix got that opportunity through hard work. We were supposed to stay here for grad school. I chose that, not the other way around. She trailed off. It seemed like she finally caught on. Ask him yourself. With that, I hung up. After clearing my name, I got back to work and settled back into my normal life. Days passed peacefully until, out of the blue, my lawyer called about Stella and Felix's defamation case. Johnny, there's a complication with the case, the lawyer said. Felix is dead. Stella cut him up into pieces, ate some, then walked into the police station with his head. The news hit me so hard I almost threw up my breakfast. I never thought Stella would go that far. Johnny, are you there? The lawyer asked. Do you still want to pursue charges against Stella? I snapped out of my shock. Let it go. I hung up, suddenly uninterested in work. I wandered to the office window, staring blankly at the sky. My thoughts were interrupted when my boss burst in, grinning. What's got you in a daze? There's a celebration planned for you tonight. Don't leave us hanging. I turned back with a smile too. Boss, you've been great. I owe you a few drinks for your support. Johnny, quit buttering me up. Let's get going.